So today is, first of all, hello. Hello, hello. Today is our Relax and Open Friday practice. So, relax and open, it's a good time to just let go, be able to go into a posture, to do the posture, and then to be in the posture. And that is very much the experience of getting closer to a state of meditation, so that when we employ a technique, we do our best to practice that technique, practice that technique, practice that technique, and then drop the technique. And then something behind the technique is revealed. So it's kind of like that when I think about postures in which we hold for long periods and are able to let go. And on top of it, today is the last practice for me in this specific room, because after this I will be moving, and the feeling of counteracting all of the things that are occurring, lots of chaos, lots of packing, and every second that I have work on the back burner as I'm trying to get things straightened up. And then a transition of 30-day period at least, in which I won't be living in the new place that I'll be living. And then when I get to live in that place, all the transitioning that's going to occur. So you've been through transitions before, and when they're longer transitions, it's really important that we adapt appropriately. So for me, that way of adapting is, amidst all the chaos that's occurring in the rest of the house and things like that, and the busy schedule, is to relax and let go. So I'd like to start on the back with a heart opener, so that the shoulders can relax back without me really having to do much. All I have to do is set it up and then lie there. So when you're ready, find your props. See if you have blocks, blankets that you can utilize. And so once you're down, see if you could elevate a little bit more, so I can tell. I'd like to go up a little higher. I might take a moment to adjust, trying different positions to see. And then once you're there, let go. Maybe a few breaths out through the mouth. So as you're lying here, notice the face and pay attention to how the facial muscles are activated, and then relax them, deactivate them. Now imagine that somebody is massaging the temples on the face, and maybe actually do it, but before you do it, see if you can imagine that occurring and watch that they start to relax. Mind is so powerful. And maybe take hands to temples and give them a little pressure, some circular motion. We're going to outline the eyes. So from here, take the fingers, maybe this first, second finger towards the right under the eyebrow, and just trace that bone all the way towards the temples. Take the fingers to the inside of the nose again, but this time go underneath and trace that bone to the temples. And then we'll release the arms. Now we'll start to come out of this. So when you're ready, maybe use the hands to pick up the head. And then one hand at a time, or both hands, to press the trunk up. And we're going to fold. So you can maybe keep the soles of the feet together, or you can cross the ankles. But once you fold, release down and let the forehead rest. Maybe hands hold the forehead, maybe a prop. Maybe forehead can come all the way down to the mat. And so we have this shape now, this position that you can let go in the position. And just allow for the breath to be deep and complete. Now, you might regulate the breath through Ujjayi Pranayama, or you might just be aware that this is time to breathe deeply. Now we're going to start to rise. Switch the order of the legs if you had the ankles crossed. If you had the soles of the feet together, you might just rise, bring the feet closer or further, and just change the posture slightly. And then fold when you're ready. Couple breaths. And we'll begin to rise. From here, let's find a twist by planting the right foot, bringing the left foot underneath the right thigh. And we're going to start by taking the foot as far away as possible, but keeping the foot planted completely. And then we'll just take a gentle twist. So exhaling, hand behind. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhale, twisting And let's actually bring movement into this. So we're going to come back to center, keeping the hands where they are. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhaling gently to center. Exhaling to the right. And as you inhale, come to center and then turn the head to the left. Come back to center, turn to the right with the head following. Center, the head turns to the left. And then twisting right. Just a few more of these. Once you come to center, bring the foot closer, right foot closer. Get tall and turn. You can be hugging this leg in with the left arm, or you can have the elbow outside the knee. Drawing the low belly in, lifting the sternum, and turning. Let's be here a little longer than usual. I personally have a hard time holding twists because I imagine it's because I have scoliosis. I know it's generally more difficult because we're compressing the lungs. It's a little harder to breathe deeply. But let's see if we can be here somewhat comfortably. And we'll inhale, come to center. Let's take this right leg out to the side. So before we twist in the other direction, I'm just going to extend this leg, sit up tall, move through this right foot, circling, flexing, pointing. And as you're doing this, pay attention to the back and notice how the right side of the back feels. Include the shoulder blade. Notice the left side. See if you can really sense the subtle differences between the two sides. And then let's let the head go. Just let the arms feel heavy as you're here. The head heavy. And we're going to start to roll the spine down. So you can start with the upper back, since the neck is already curving down. Middle back. And then release down. And maybe you will support the head again. Keep the sitting bones down. It's easy for that right sitting bone to rise. I'm going to press it down. Keep the foot flexed. We'll start to get ready to rise. So not rising yet, but knowing it's going to occur in a moment. So paying attention. Maybe for a couple more breaths, see if that release can occur. And then we'll unroll the spine. Now we took a twist first. This is how we began this little sequence. So we're going to plant the left foot and bend the right knee, bringing this foot forward. I'm sorry, under the left thigh, closer to the hip. Take the left foot forward until you can't take it any further without really straining the ankle. So then we'll start to just hold this left leg with the right arm to stabilize the left hand behind. Get nice and tall, and then some just gentle pressure, hand to leg turning. And here we're going to start to move, come to center. First couple times we went through, we didn't take the head all the way to the side, so just go through center and then left. And then eventually we'll start to come to center with the trunk and then move the head to the right, going back to center, twisting to the left. Maybe you're coordinating the breath here. Taking those twists on the exhalation, coming to center on the inhalation. Okay, so when you're ready, we'll come to center. We'll draw this foot in closer. And then find this deeper twist. Getting tall, elbow to the maybe front of the knee or to the outside of the knee, depending. Hugging this leg in, drawing the low belly in, getting tall, and then twisting. We were here for at least a minute, could have been about a minute and a half. So again, this idea of being able to stay in the posture, find the position, and be there. Do the outline and then be in the outline. So a little bit longer. And our practice is so important. It helps us pay attention and realize where we feel most restless, which postures, what sort of practice. This one is easy, this longer holds, fewer postures in the practice. Easy to become restless in this practice. Easy to become restless in this uncomfortable twist, semi-comfortable, but uncomfortable enough. Harder to hold. And we'll come to center. That was a couple minutes. This left leg will go out to the left, and just as we did before, we'll be hinging forward, but before we do, just sit up tall, relax the arms, notice the back. We can drop the chin to the chest. And we'll begin to fold here. So allowing for the rounding today. It's easy to get restless when we aren't breathing fully. This is why Ujjayi breath really helps, because it's a clear-cut expression of breath. It's harder to forget about it once you start it. It's easier to forget it when we're just hoping and trying to do our best breathing deeply. So I'm just going to initiate it and realizing myself that my mind will wander if I'm not with that breath fully. So a good way to start it is inhaling through the nose, fogging out through the mouth, fogging in through the mouth, closing the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. Okay, we'll start to rise. And then we'll bring both of the ankles closer together here, crossing them. Sitting up tall, rotating the shoulders. I think today is going to be very gentle, a little bit of a shorter practice. Finding some motion here, maybe shoulders going back and forward. So if I do this, I can sense lots more clicking. And if I take the shoulders back, so check in and see. We'll sit up tall, twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind. And then come to center, twist to the left. Come to center. Okay, from here, let's take both of the legs out in a V formation. Let's see, just enough space here. And once we have that, I'm going to work with the ankles again, flexing, pointing, circling. You can let go and then start to move from the hips. So just, you can see there's a flopping of the legs back and forward. Just loosening up there. And then finding activity in the legs, flexing the feet. I'm going to travel forward first. So I'm going to have a block because I want to keep my body, my upper body extended somewhat, my back extended rather than rounding. So it's up to you what you want to experience. So go ahead and see. And I like the block because I can kind of play with the position of the block, and that kind of just takes me forward without having to do much. Another breath in the middle. And then we'll go towards one leg. So walking closer to a leg, There's some options here. You can have hands to the inside of the leg. You might be able to take hands around the leg. A potential option, and I could feel I'm a little too tight to do this right now, but it's close. It's taking the block to the foot and then allowing for the extension of the arms and the back. And so rather than be there, if you aren't there but you're close, you can stay in the position right before, finding some full breaths here. So on the exhalation, we feel the letting go. And it's just that letting go that we need, just maybe one breath's worth to get a little deeper. So we have our outline. We're still here. We'll be here a little bit longer. And then we'll start to rise. Come to center. Just walk forward. See how this is. As you walk forward, you'll feel the difference between the two legs. And then we'll walk over to the other leg. See where we're at here. Just a few more deep breaths. And we'll come back to center. Now we'll see how much lower we're able to go based on what we have done. And traveling to the two sides, staying in the middle for a long period. Make sure the toes stay pointed upwards. Maybe you can relax the arms to some degree. And we'll start to rise. So with those deeper folds, it's important to get a good back bend in. We're going to go for a supported back bend. So when you're ready, get your props, something probably that you started with, and then we'll be bringing those underneath the hips while we are on the back. So that will be our bridge posture, supported bridge. Today I will be using 2 blocks to get the hips up. Okay. So once you're on the back, you can bring 1 block underneath, or 1 item, whatever you're using, something that's stable though, firm and stable. And I feel like swaying the knees side to side while the hips are up is going to help me out. So check in and see if there's something there that works for you before you go further. And then when you're ready, maybe getting a little higher with this elevation. As you're there exploring. So you might find one leg extending feels good, nice deep release. So what happens is there's a bigger contraction there in the low back. And in that you could feel tension being removed. Sometimes we just don't contract these spaces enough. You can also take the legs skyward. You could take one or both into a candlestick. But what we'll do is we'll individually explore for the next minute or so, and then we're going to prepare for Shavasana. So as you start to come out of this, take your time. Maybe one block first, and then the other. After hips come down, take a few pelvic tilts. So simply pressing the low back into the mat, getting the tilt inwardly and then outwardly by lifting the back off the mat. So we'll just continue a few of these. And if you pull that pelvis in enough where the back touches the mat, you start to really pull at the tailbone, I'm going to lift up off of the mat. Okay, from here we'll take a twist. So we can keep the feet where they are. You could bring them off of the mat and just take them over to one side. Take the arms and release them out, or take them behind. And turn the head in the opposite direction of the knees. Bringing the feet or knees to center and then over to the other side. And we'll bring the knees to center and let the legs go. Preparing for Shavasana. Let's trace the eyes again. So we're going to take the hands to the top of the nose, trace the bone of the eye socket all the way to the temples. This time, once you're at the temples, give some pressure in circles there. And then we'll go back to the top of the nose and trace that eye socket, the bone, around the bottom to the temple. Put pressure there. And just see if there's anywhere else in the face that you'd like to put a little pressure to help release. Always start from the center with the 2 fingers and then work your way out towards the outline of the face. Releasing the body when you're ready. Symbolize that willing to let go by exhaling out through the mouth. Feeling that emotional and mental release along with the physical release. And then allowing the breath to be natural, effortless, without any of your doing as you rest completely. Fully begin to notice the body again. Find deeper breaths, remembering how important it is to take these full, complete breaths as often as you can through the day. Coming back into that, giving the body proper nutrition through the oxygenated blood supply. We'll just start to find some length. And then when you're ready, roll to the side. Maybe rest there for a moment. No need to rush. Going to seal our practice today with Mangala Mantra to wish success for the world. Completing the verse with Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, designating the wish that all beings be happy, healthy, and free from suffering. Svasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Gobrahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.